Hello, welcome to my channel, True Crime with KT. I appreciate you listening and watching. If you like what you hear and see today, please think about subscribing or giving me a thumbs up as well. And if you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate you very much. I wanted to go over the Suzanne Morphew case again. I usually like to move on to a different topic. My last video was about this case. But when I watched the video that I made, I had more questions. There's more questions that I have, and there's very little of any kind of evidence or anything that we're finding in the case. So I thought I would just kind of talk about those questions that I have in the back of my mind that didn't make a lot of sense to me. For those of you who are not familiar with this case, Suzanne Morphew is a 49-year-old mother and wife who came up missing in Maysville, Colorado on Mother's Day, May the 10th. She's from Chaffee County, and she has a husband, Barry, and two daughters, one that's about high school age and one that's in college. I'm guessing she's college age. They seem to be a fairly well-off family, a beautiful family that goes on vacations, and seem to be living in a kind of small, tight-knit community where Suzanne would often ride bikes or go hiking. On the day that she came up missing, a lot of people have speculated that maybe she was kidnapped. Her bicycle was found kind of at the bottom of a ravine or a hill, leaning against a tree, not necessarily placed or propped there, but leaning against it from what I understand. And there's like a little creek or river right next to that area. I've watched someone else's video regarding the topic and just kind of saw what it looked like there. And they supposedly found a personal item around US 50, the highway, excuse me. And it seems as if there's been a lot of searches that have been done, about 10 different searches, and 24 police officers and the CBI, which is the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI have been involved. And the people in the community have been questioned, and just very little has been found out about what happened to her that day. Now, all the information that I have gathered for this case and for all the cases that I cover, including what I'm going to discuss today and what I discussed in the last video, are sources such as articles, news articles that I read. And sometimes the information changes or is not the same. And that's kind of been a big question in my mind, because some of the things that have been discussed in those articles don't make a lot of sense, or they contradict each other. And that's the problem I'm having with this case, and that's why I'm coming back today to talk about it. The first question that I had, Barry, her husband, was supposedly out of town that day, supposedly in Denver. Now, it's Mother's Day, and I don't know a whole lot of husbands who would be elsewhere on Mother's Day, but it happens. And in one article I read that he had said he was at firefighter training, and that the fire chief said there was no training that weekend, that he was actually on a landscaping job. And I'm thinking, it's a Sunday. Would you be on a landscaping job in Denver? Well, possibly so. In my mind, not too likely, but it's possible. And maybe he was coming home from a long week or a few days of landscaping, and that just was the day that he was coming home and hadn't got home yet. And her daughters were not home. I don't know what they do. It's not my business. But she was alone that day, allegedly, according to the information that I have gathered. Well, the problem with that is, I'm just wondering, why was she alone on Mother's Day? I mean, like I said, it was a Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Wouldn't you be with your wife? Maybe not. maybe not. And I'm not trying to accuse Mr. Morphew of anything, but it's a question that's in the back of my mind. The other thing is the weirdness surrounding who called 911 and why. And I've read that her daughters were out of town. They were concerned because they couldn't reach her, so they asked a neighbor to call 911. Well, I don't know. Like if you call your mom, this is the problem I have with that. If you call your mom and she doesn't answer, my first thing wouldn't be, well, something's happened to her. That wouldn't be the first thing on my mind. It'd be, she's taking a nap, she went somewhere, she's enjoying her day. But maybe that's what happened. Maybe they waited several hours and that nighttime came and she was not home yet. Maybe that's how it went down. I don't know. But that's just weird to me that it went down that way. And it makes me think, was there something that those daughters knew or that the neighbors knew that they would call 911? Was there some sort of suspicious activity going on? And I'm really questioning that. I'm questioning if that's even accurate information, or even the fact that Mr. Morphew was gone on a job or some sort of training. Maybe that's not even accurate information. It just seems like the information we are getting on this case does not make a lot of sense. Either this is the truth that we're hearing, or it's not the truth. And if it is the truth, it's odd. And I just think there are missing pieces. And it seems like the police department is being very quiet and tight-lipped, and they're not releasing a lot of information. And I have found when that happens, often they know what has happened, but they haven't found the body, they haven't found enough evidence or proof of it, and they're just waiting. So, the theory is that she went bike riding that day and didn't come home. And I'm wondering, did someone see her leave on her bike? Was it just because the bike was not there? Did the neighbors or her husband, when he got home, discover that the bike was not there? I just have so many questions, more so than usual on these cases. And there's just something that we don't know. There's a puzzle piece, a big chunk of it that's missing. And I'm not accusing anyone. This is just for educational purposes only. I have no real theory as to what happened to her, but I do hope that she is found soon and that she is well. And I really feel for the people in that community and for that family and for her friends. Thank you for listening today, and anytime you listen, I appreciate you. And I'm going to put the interview with Mr. Morphew at the end of this video again, like it was in the last one, just so you can watch his body language and how he shakes his head no when he's finishing what he's saying. I think some people who are into reading into stuff like body language might gain some idea as to what's going on here. Thank you for listening and watching.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you, and I want you back so bad.